Today we're going to talk about dysmenorrhea. So let me walk you through dysmenorrhea. The common question is it normal to have dysmenorrhea every period? The answer is many girls and women feel some pain during their period, and it is totally normal. The matter of fact is the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists states that more than half of them have mild pain 1 to 2 days each month. But for some women, it actually hinders their activities of daily living. So that is why, they call it sick, and some of them, they need space, whenever their period starts. There are 2 types of period pain or dysmenorrhea. The first one is the primary dysmenorrhea, the most common kind of period pain. But it is not linked to other health problems, and it usually starts 1 to 2 days before the actual menstrual period starts, like 1 to 2 days, and then it ends up to like 4 days in the cycle. It actually varies every person, but that actually is the common one. But for me, I only have dysmenorrhea in the first 3 to 4 hours from the time my period starts. Another type of period pain is the secondary dysmenorrhea. This is a kind of period pain that is caused by other health issues like endometriosis or inflammatory pelvic disease. It actually starts earlier in the menstrual cycle and can last longer. So when you are in doubt, this kind of pain, like a pain period is you feel like it's no longer normal and your menstrual flow is kind of heavy. When you're in doubt, it's way better to consult the doctor. Another question is, what does dysmenorrhea feels like? Period pain or dysmenorrhea can be different for everyone, but these are just the common ones. The number one is cramping or crampy pain. So crampy pain means the belly feels tight and it hurts a little bit, mild kind of pain or hurt, a little bit to a little bit severe, but overall it's tolerable. Another symptom of the so-called dysmenorrhea is throbbing or aching pain. So throbbing, aching pain is similar to having a rhythmic sensation or pulsations. What I'm trying to say is the period pain could start like extreme and then it lessens as the time went by. So in my case, it's different. It actually starts from mild to severe, but it's tolerable, especially when I got heat back over my belly. So rhythmic sensation means it actually starts from severe to mild, or from mild to severe. Or in my case, it actually in the scale of 0 to 10, it starts from 3 to 4, and then it increases to 5 and 6, and then 7, and I feel like really I need space, I need some rest. This time, it actually reduces down to 5, 4, up to 3 for the entire day, and it's all tolerable. But I know, since I already have this experience my whole life, I know exactly what to do, and whenever it happens, whenever I have dysmenorrhea. So from the time that I feel like I am going to start my period, I immediately just put in a heat pack over my belly. That actually promotes the vasodilation on my uterine muscles. So that increases the blood flow in my uterus and it eases the pain. That's in my experience. I don't want any throbbing or aching or sharp pain during my period as much as possible. I try to avoid it. And going back to period pain, another type of period pain is radiating pain. That kind of pain, when you're in period, you might going to experience this kind of pain, which starts from the lower back, and it radiates towards the thighs. Sometimes the pain starts from the pelvic area, and then it radiates to the thighs. Sometimes it's actually painful all over this area, from lower back to to the pelvic area down to the thighs. But it happens to women, and we get along with it. I mean, this is our body. This is how it means to be a woman, and we'll carry it all throughout our life, and we will survive. We will thrive with this. So that's the motto. Another common symptom of dysmenorrhea is the nausea and fatigue. Some people feel sick and tired along with physical discomfort. I also feel this nausea and fatigue sometimes when I have my period. So what I usually do is I just take some rest, because I know it will pass by. It will pass by in 15-20 minutes, half an hour. So that happens to me, the nausea and fatigue, for like 1 hour or 30 minutes from the time my period starts. But it doesn't happen all the time. It's maybe in 1 year it happens like 2 to 3 times in a year. Now, lastly, another common symptom of dysmenorrhea is headache. So some women experience headache whenever they have their periods. And the level and the length of pain can be different for each person. So for some people, it's manageable with over-the-counter medicine and self-care. But if the pain is really very strong and it affects your daily life, again, it's way better to have it seen or to have some consultation with a gynecologist. Another question is, why dysmenorrhea happens? Why? So let's go back to, the beginning. Why women have periods? So the reproductive system of women actually prepares every month for a possible baby. So what happens is the ovary produces egg, and it travels towards the fallopian tube and up to the a portion of the uterus. And in response to ovulation, our uterine lining actually thickens. So this uterine lining, a thick uterine lining, serves as a bed for the egg and for the sperm, egg and sperm, for fertilization and for the baby, for the baby to be able it's like the home of the baby, our uterus. So that's the uterine lining. Uterine lining thickens up in order for a fertilization to take place successfully and up to the childbirth. And it happens every month. So what happens when there is no baby? So when there is no baby, the uterine lining that has been thickened for the possible baby will shed off itself naturally and it grows back again. It thickens up again gradually in process with hormonal changes for the next month in preparation for another possible baby to come. So periods happen each month to get our body, to get a woman's body ready for a possible baby. Now, what if there's no baby? So here's what's going to happen. If there's no baby, when that thickened uterine lining actually shed off, and in that process involves some kind of hormonal changes. And in response to hormonal changes, the uterus produces prostaglandins. Prostaglandins propels the uterus to make some contraction to shed off those linings. And when there is some kind of uterine contraction, there is a reduction of blood flow in the uterus. So that's what happens. And because of that reduction of blood flow, there is also the oxygen supply of the uterine muscle will also be lessened. So that adds up to pain. And this prostaglandin actually responds to some kind of inflammatory, it actually involves in the inflammatory response of the body. So when the uterine lining sheds off, it promotes inflammatory response, and that adds up to pain again. So that's what happens. By the way, prostaglandins is present all over the body, and it will only be released when it's needed. For example, I have a wound here, accidental cut on my wrist, and there's some kind of infection. The prostaglandin responds to it by means of inflammation and swelling, and that also happens inside our uterus, my uterus, and with a different different response. of the body. So, in other words, the function of prostaglandin is some kind of a messenger. It sends out message to the brain and different parts of the body to do something about an issue of a certain part of the body. So in response to hormonal changes and the presence of prostaglandin on it, there's a uterine contraction, there's a reduction of blood flow, and then there's pain and inflammatory response in our uterus, which is 100% natural, and it heals itself. Remember, we're going to have another possible baby for the next month, and our body is well prepared for it if we only choose to. So another question is, when does the dysmenorrhea happen? So to some women, it happens 1 to 2 days before the menstruation starts, and it lasts up to 2 to 4 days. In terms of peak of the pain, it actually varies to every person. Some women feel in pain in the first and second day, and some women, feel that way. And some of them, they absolutely have mild pain, mild to moderate pain for the entire menstrual cycle. If it's 4 days, 4 days, 6 days, 5 days, 7 days, they're going to have mild pain all throughout. So that actually involves the duration. And another question is, can dysmenorrhea happen without menstruation? Well, absolutely no. Dysmenorrhea is connected to menstruation. And if you ever have some kind of pelvic pain outside your period, your menstrual cycle, the reason could be some other health issues, some other reproductive issues. So it's way better to have it checked by the doctor. Lastly, how to prevent dysmenorrhea other than good sleep and rest. So you might as well try regular exercise, keep your body active. And to some women, sex helps them ease the cramps, the crampy pain. You can also use heat pack, over the belly. So heat packs over the belly, where the cramp is, it depends on the location. It promotes vasodilation. It promotes delivery of blood all throughout the uterine muscles. So vasodilation. It eases the crampy pain again. And some women have tried different dietary supplements like omega-3, vitamin B1, vitamin B6, vitamin E, and magnesium supplements to reduce the menstrual cramps. And lastly, it's important to really control or reduce stress. Psychological stress might increase your risk of menstrual cramps and their severity. Sometimes when you are too stressed, you're going to skip your cycle in a month or 2 or 3. That's the natural response of the body on stress for women. So that's it for today. This is Anne again of Reinforce Me Club. Look, I'm telling you, the way for your best future is to build it today. Thank you very much for your time and have a lovely day ahead.